Today we're going to be working on the Alaskan strap drill. I put up a couple videos on Facebook just to share with my friends and a small group of outdoor enthusiasts, and I've gotten a couple requests for a technique on how to do this. So we're going to do that today, and we'll go over first the components that make up your kit, then we're going to go over technique, and then we're going to light it on fire and hopefully get a sustainable fire going with this method, okay? So first off, the components. We have our hearth board, okay? This is cedar, local cedar here in Kansas. It is very popular amongst bow drill and hand drill, everything like that for friction fire. So we have our cedar spindle. We'll put that down here. Or sorry, hearth board, not spindle. Cordage. Today we're going to use parachute cord. With this method and the wrap method that we're going to use to it, you can get away with smaller diameter natural cordage. So if you're twisting something up out in the wild, you can actually do that with this. Where at the bow drill it's a little harder to do because of the tension on the cordage. Our spindle is next. This is river cane. This is from, not from Kansas, this is from Tennessee. But you can use bamboo. If you want to practice this method, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any lumber yard, pick up some bamboo garden stakes about this diameter, even a little bit thicker than this will work too. A little bit thinner than this, you'll kind of just drill through your hearth board. So about this thickness is about a little bit thicker than a pencil. You can get away with a little bit larger than this as well. You can use hand drill materials as well. This is also hand drill material, but you can get away with mullein, horsetail, and lots of other type of hand drill materials. If you look up that list, you'll see all those combinations. You can do this method with those. And finally, we have our bit, which is a bearing block, but it's going to go in our mouth, therefore we call it a bit. So with that, and we have one other piece of equipment that we're going to use today for what we're going to do, and this is our brace. This takes place of your foot on the hearth board. Where in the bow drill method you place your foot on the hearth board to keep it steady. We're going to use a brace that allows us to back away from the hearth board and still apply pressure and keep us in a more advantageous position to use the method we're going to use. So with that, we'll go over some technique, and then we'll try to get started here. So first we're going to place our hearth board down on something. Today we happen to have some pallet wood, so that's what we're going to use to keep it elevated off the ground, but you can do that with natural materials as well. So what we're going to want to do, is it's been rainy the past couple of days here, although you couldn't tell by the way the sun's shining today. Our method of wrap, that's what we're going to go over. So first we're going to go over how we're going to pull on the string. Now with a bow drill, you have constant tension provided by the bow. We don't have a bow, we just have our hands. So what we're going to do is wrap 2 fingers. Now if it's cold outside and you have mittens, you can wrap the whole hand. You can wrap the whole hand without mittens. That's fine. This allows you to keep your mittens on or your gloves on while you do this. But today we have a little bit shorter piece of cordage, so we're going to just wrap it around our first 2 fingers, first finger and middle finger. This allows us to do the very important part of this method, which is keep constant tension on this as we pull it back and forth. Okay, if we don't keep constant tension, it's just going to spin around the spindle and not convert that energy into spinning the spindle. So that's what we want to do. Okay, so as we do that, you can think of sliding it while pulling it apart. So I want to pull apart and either rock it back and forth if that sticks in your head, or slide it back and forth, try to keep it even, and go back and forth, and that's going to create the friction on the hearth board with the spindle, okay? The bit just goes in your mouth just like you would think. Now, you can put it far back in your mouth, you can put it up front in your mouth. Some are shaved where you just use your front teeth. If you have rather large canine teeth like mine, I just rest it against my canine teeth and we'll go from there. But we're going to mate these 2 up after we wrap, and then we'll go from there. We're going to get an ember, and then hopefully we'll get a flame, and with that we'll be able to warm ourselves up on this fall day here in November. We have our ember. It's a small one. Hopefully it'll be enough to get it in our tinder bundle. And get it going from there.
Nice. Beautiful.
Let this catch on fire. Add our small stuff here. You got it, use it, right? So what we're going to do is just get this going. We'll throw the larger stuff on as we go. Focus the attention over here. A little bit bigger stuff.
That's awesome.
Occasionally find some thinner stuff just to keep it going. Start adding the bigger stuff to it. From here it's just proper fire building technique. Enough airflow with enough fuel to keep it going. Let that kind of catch itself up. So drawbacks to this method, technique. Technique is really big in this, getting your ember. It does tend to produce smaller embers like you saw there. You can keep going, but with that material combination, if we kept going, we're going to drill right through the board. So we had this really small ember. Sometimes you can get a substantial ember, but today we didn't have the materials for that. Another thing that people run into with this method is drooling. So as you got that bit in your mouth, you're going to salivate. So there are a couple things you can do. One, don't eat beforehand, obviously, because you'll have that residual drool or saliva from that. Your salivary glands will be producing that. Kind of direct it with your lips. So as you're bowing or using your cordage, kind of you're gonna make a funny face, but as you're clamping down with your teeth on that bit, you're gonna kind of use your lips to direct if you are going to happen to drop some spittle on your hearth or on your ember. It'll direct it to the sides. This is something I found that does work, so try to do that. Sometimes it will fall on the ember and it will keep going. I've had plenty of times where I've done this and it will fall right on top of or right next to the ember, and you think it would put it out, and it doesn't. So just don't stop necessarily if you drill. Keep going, and you can kind of dry it out. Other than that, it's very similar to the method that's going to get, the methodology is the same. We're going to spin something real fast, get enough friction to ignite the dust within from our material. So with that, we're going to build this fire up. If you have any questions, you can post them, and I'll do my best to answer them. Have a good day.
Like, rate, and subscribe.